Okay, folks, good evening. Let's go ahead and get started and see if we can knock out these SU-100s for good. We finished painting them proper yesterday, and I sealed them earlier today before I went out and did what I was doing after work. So these guys are, oh, it's a little zoomed in, isn't it? Let's zoom this out a little bit. There we go. These are all sealed up with the airbrush and the flat stuff I'm using. So they are very, very flat and very, very non-toxic also doing that. So these two guys are complete. So let's put them on stands. I went ahead and grouped these this morning. So let's go ahead and dry brush them up and see if we can't finish them up this evening. I think that's not too tall an order to get that done. And first things first, let's get our usual suspects, which of course are US Field Drab and Iraqi Sand. And I thought I had a piece of cardboard already working. There it is. All right, we're going to start off with US Field Drab. These are all colors that are in the actual weathering on the vehicle. Hold on one second. All right, let's find us a dry brushing brush here. And this actually dries pretty quick because it's called dry brushing. Anything with the acrylic paint dries really quick except if I'm doing a, not counting the Agrax Earthshade wash or anything like that, unless I'm doing the initial coating of this. I put it on pretty thick so you don't end up having some little white spots in the bottom of this that are showing through that would be annoying to take a look at. Now this should be pretty easy to cut into because it was just done this morning, so that's like almost ideal from a standpoint of easiness. I don't know exactly how long it takes for it to start becoming a pain in the butt. I'm gonna guess probably over a week, but I know those T34s had been sitting a month or so and they were just brutal. They were brutal to cut through into. It was like cement. All right, and let's go ahead and give this a rinse. see if we get some activity tonight. It is kind of a later start, but I try to get an early start when I can. It just sometimes it just doesn't work out. So hopefully you guys already saw my unboxing video that came out. Well, it came out yesterday. I filmed it yesterday before my evening session, but by the time it processed overnight and everything, it was posted this morning. So I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to work on next, or we're going to do some more Soviet stuff. I honestly don't know. I know the Soviet stuff is turning out a lot better than I thought it was going to. So it's kind of hard to get excited about some stuff when it's really drab, but I think it's turned out pretty well. All right, this is the same size base that's on all the T-34s. All the T-34s are on the same size base, so for consistency, we will put it on the same size base as well. Everything's always encroaching on the right-hand side of me. About there. Now, I think for the first time in a long time, I'm actually not dreading using the epoxy. It's hard to see where exactly it's... This should come up pretty easy. It's actually extra gooey. I always wonder where you get a thumbs down on a video, and I was just looking at some of my other videos. I'm like, I got a thumbs down on a video, and like nobody bothered to comment. Honestly, if you're probably stupid enough to give a thumbs down on something like that, then you know I probably wouldn't post your comment anyways. But I heard one guy say one time and said, you know, if you do give a thumbs down and don't explain why you don't like it, then it's not really doing any good. Maybe it's somebody upset that I'm not doing Ancients. Well, they're going to be upset a lot because I'm not going to do Ancients anytime soon. So, I'm going to the show, and I guess it's a couple of months. I just registered for it today. Our local convention here in Florida, and I'm not going to play any of the stuff that I normally play. I'm not even going to bring any of my figures. So, and I'm actually really happy about that. We'll play other stuff. Wow, this actually turned out perfectly. All right. Next. And then we will epoxy this in place. When we're done with this. Now, where did I do the cut on here? It's almost like self-healing, so it's kind of hard to see sometimes. Well, there's a cut here. Looks like. So the question is, which side of it is it? Okay, it's about right. This area right here. Okay, there we go. The inside doesn't have to be so precise because you won't even see it. But the outside, you want that to be even. Let's check for fit here in a second. Okay, let's extend this a little bit in both directions. Oh, excuse me. Carbonation. Oh man, was I pressing on that thing? I gotta be careful, I'll break that. Without wanting to. Alright, I think that's probably good enough. Let's go ahead and take this. I don't want to do repairs on stuff. We gotta keep moving forward. Looks like it's gonna be another slow night. Oh well. Alright, let's look at good Lord. Come on. Thank you. We could probably do it over here on this side. We don't need a tremendous amount, but it is 2 vehicles. Let's see if this is a lot easier this time than last time. It is. Thank you. I cut more of the tip off of this thing. I was tired of fighting with it. There we go. Good Lord. It was extremely challenging the last time I had to mix up this epoxy. Or actually, not the mixing the epoxy out, it's getting it out of here. We're just gonna put the stuff out here towards the inside. We don't want it squishing out on the outside of this. Justin Sobaka, what's happening? I'm just trying to finish these SU-100s. I started doing some of it. I went to the gym and came back and I'm like, well, let's knock these guys out. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit before we stick something on it. But it's kind of late. It's not late, but it's kind of late to get started. But I figured this is kind of a small enough challenge. I can probably knock this out. But I don't know where I'm gonna do next. Maybe the Chelyabinsk T-34s. I'm really enjoying the Soviet vehicles. We're going to leave the T-34-85s until May or later, until that Osprey book comes out. Not that I'm going to learn something, you know, incredible on it. It's just, you know, there'll be some inspiration. Where do I get my bases from? They're just shims. They're shims that I cut to place. They're concrete shims, basically, for setting concrete panels on top of. And they didn't need these at work, so I took them. They had no use for them. They're just going to throw them out. Unfortunately, I've got to find a source for a similar thing that's bigger, because something like this is too long to fit on there. And I like putting the vehicles on bases for two reasons. First of all, I like that you can do a little bit of the terrain on what they're like to kind of tie it all together. And then the other thing is that, you know, when you magnetize the bottoms like this, you know, you need to take them somewhere. They're already magnetized. So they're not going to be flying all over a box or something and damage the stuff that we've spent time putting them on there. Putting them together. Wood or metal? Neither. It's like it's like plastic. You know, they come like this. I don't even know how to buy them. Because they don't sell to the public. Let me show you how they come in. They come in strips like this. And they're already pre-scored, as you can see here. And I think it's 3x3. Something like that. It's 2.5 or 2.5 by 2.5 or 3 by 3 or something like that. And you can break these off, but this is the limiting factor. The distance between here and here. They don't make them any longer, so. Yeah, I don't want to use wood because then I got problems with trying to sand the corners. And I definitely want the round corners, so I'm not in a huge hurry for it. But I'd like to find something that's black and about, I think this is about a 1/16 of an inch, something like that. So I've got about 50 or 60 left of these. So, and I don't want to tie up two of them on one vehicle. So, but that's working really well, and it was a free material, and it doesn't warp, and you know, there's lots of things going for it. I'd gladly pay for it now that it's definitely proved its worth. So, I would use wood other than the fact that then I got to worry about the corners. You know, I don't have a router or anything like that. We'll see. I'm sure I'll come up with the right decision when I have to make it, but I just don't have to make it right now. So here is the two SU-100s. We'll wait for this to dry a little bit, and then we'll come in and do some grass around it, put some happy plants. So, and the material that this is it's actually called a Corlath shim. And it's nice that it's in black, so if something gets scuffed up on it, but I'm not worried about it. Just keeps me from building hordes of the Panthers can't fit on there. The JSUs and JS2s don't fit on there well. This T35 doesn't fit on there. Other than that, pretty much everything else works on this size. I don't care that it's not for, you know, protection. Like, I don't care that this vehicle overhangs it a little bit, or these overhang it a little bit. It's not necessarily from front to back protection. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get our the bushes that we're going to use. Yeah, and then the spares, when I cut these things down, I got these spares. I can use these for Kubelwagens or motorcycles or whatever. See, it flexes quite a bit, and it comes right back down to shape. You know, it's good stuff. It's definitely overkill for what it's being used for here. All right, let's get how many of these vehicles we got? We got 2 of these grasses. Let's just take that. Getting really low on this stuff. And the other one is the lowland shrubs. Problem with Lowe's is, man, you can't go to stores and ask anybody anything. Nobody knows anything anymore. You know, by the time you find somebody, I was looking for X-Acto knives. I went to Lowe's the other day. I'm like, oh, I'll buy some X-Acto knife blades. They don't know shit. They don't know. I had to go pull a picture off of Amazon. Like, this is what I want. These are the blades that I want. Like, oh yes, we have them. They're over in this area. So what I do, I just ended up buying the damn Chinese blades, and I kind of feel bad about it, but you know, I'm going to order actual X-Acto blades from Amazon and going to get Chinese ones anyway, so I might as well get ones that are cheap. You can't find bases for your Flames of War. Really? How come? Did you stop making them, or? You collect just one nation for Flames of War, or you do several of them? I don't do Flames of War. I don't think their game has enough detail for my taste, for my World War II thing, but their website is awesome. And they have some great articles there, like on history and stuff like that. So, I go to their site kind of frequently. Like, they had a whole article that was on Shermans that were in Italy, the British Shermans that were in Italy, and what divisions and what regiments and the markings that had them, and you know, they had real life stuff that you can use it for whatever rule set you have. But honestly, my biggest gripe with Flames of War is that you see people play it and they just line all their vehicles up. Like, they're literally touching. They're not even on stands. Sometimes they're like touching, and I'm like, it just looks hokey, you know? But I've played it a couple times. It's okay, you know? German and Hail Caesar Greeks. Okay. So you couldn't put on a game of it by yourself. You need a buddy that has one. You got somebody in your town that does that, or you just do that at shows or events? I'm used to doing both sides. Well, I wasn't for a long time, but I'll be doing both sides now. And hell, I'm on a tear, man. This This is the 56th and 57th vehicle I've paid in since October 1. So we are definitely on a tear. Okay, this should be dry enough to put this on. So we're going to, first of all, put the grass not all over the place, just in a few places. Mr. Dirk, welcome. Where it's tomorrow. It's Happy Friday for you. Well, you work from home, or you mostly work from home, or you used to mostly work from home. Every day's a Friday if you're working from home, right? That's what those of us that don't work on Fridays, those of us that can't work from home think anyways. It may not be true. Yeah, these are just plastic toys that were painted poorly because they were all white. I mean, they were like this. It wasn't like they were shaded or anything. I mean, it was like, it'd stand out like a sore thumb. I picked these things up. I think they were like $5 each. No, I think I got my money's worth out of them. You know, it's the only reason I would have gotten SU-100s is they were cheap because they're pretty late. Have a huge SS Army with armor and air support, half tracks. Heavy armor still do. Have to go to the Philippines on Sunday, so every day will be a Monday. Ugh. You do banking or something like that, right? I'm glad I don't have to travel to other countries for work. Where's the little... here's a little box if we use this. We want to recycle this stuff. I'm not worried about saving the earth. It's just stupid to be wasteful when you can not be wasteful. Weather. Bad weather in the Philippines. Everybody's getting a cold front. I heard everybody's like, hey, there's going to be a big cold front in the U.S. Not here. It's already swamp ass season again. I can't stand it being hot at night. All right, we're going to put some happy grass on here, and then we'll take proper photos of it because this light is great to work on this, but you take photos and it washes everything out. Ice storm in northern Michigan. Lucky. I don't want weather to shut down what I can do, though. I think I'm going to be able to still do my Saturday morning show like I normally do, even though I'm going to be out of town. I think we're going to leave late enough that we can still do that. Northern Michigan. I've never been in Michigan. What's the closest I've been to Michigan? Pennsylvania. And not even the western part of Pennsylvania, the eastern part of Pennsylvania. I've never been to Chicago. Okay. We can put this away now. All right, let's get more of this because we're going to need it for the bushes. Get this done earlier than I thought. 32 degrees Fahrenheit here today. Should be about 80 this time of year. What? You'll never move out of Michigan. Well, you're probably used to it. You know? A lot of it depends on, what kind of a job you have. I have a job that's very chaotic, so I don't want any chaos at home. So, yeah, I'm not looking to move out of Florida, I don't want to shovel anything. I don't want to live somewhere where Mother Nature just says, I want to be on the rag today, and you're going to have to pick me up after me. It just doesn't interest me. I think it doesn't make sense to move all over the place. Just for, it's different if you lose your job, but just like, hey, let me go move somewhere because I can make another $5,000 more or whatever. Man, moving just freaking costs money and stuff, I can't imagine having snow tires or, like, what the hell, Life's too difficult already. That's one of the reasons I stopped playing when I was playing. It's just, work is just too demanding. I don't want to, it's too much work running shit for other people. Running games and stuff. Especially when you got a lot of people that are like, don't step up and don't tell you what they're going to run. And it's just got tired of playing minority whip. Warehouse manager, work outside and inside. Okay, yeah, I work outside and inside as well. I handle shipping and stuff for a company, so I'm always dealing with wonderful truck drivers. Can't wait to see some tomorrow. So, like, what I really dislike is rain. I really dislike a rainy day because then you got paperwork that's getting wet and, it's a pain in the ass, especially when it's been the same pain in the ass for almost 30 years. So, you don't need snow tires in Michigan. Okay. I I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about that stuff. So, I'm taking your word for it. I mean, I got a vehicle that probably do just fine in those adverse conditions, but oh, get down there. I get all weekends off. Me too. I don't work weekends. Oh, you're like me. You got a normal schedule, not like the idiots that I game with. Like, I'm off on Monday. Like, you freaking jackass. Yeah, I work normal time, normal stuff, normal times, Monday through Friday. I've come in on a Saturday, and there's more people there than on Monday through Friday. If I'm coming in on a Saturday, it's to get shit done that I couldn't get done during the week, not to be like, oh, I'm glad you're here. Here, take this on. I'm like, dude, I came in, because, and it costs you, let's just round, let me just do a round number. It costs you $8 in gas just to go to work. It may not, but it costs, so I don't need to take any extra trips if I can get away with it. Yeah, it's nice to know there's some other people out there that work Monday through Friday. Mondays are busy days. Fridays are busy days. I hate Fridays because I'm like tired from the week, and we're doing a lot of, we load everything the day before. So stuff that goes out on Monday is loaded on Friday. And yeah, Mondays are busy too because Tuesdays seem to be heavy. So of course it's, the stress out. Am I going to be able to get over to Mitch's? That's one of the reasons I stopped. That's actually one of the reasons I stopped playing DBA. I got tired of rushing and playing and doing videos on a day where somebody was sitting on their ass all day and not doing a damn thing. And it's like my busiest day, and I have to run around like a maniac. And I'm like, just like, F it. I got enough videos out there. If people don't want to play DBA after seeing 230 videos that we did, then there's no hope. That's one of the reasons. There's many reasons, but yeah, Monday's a really busy day. And you get people that'll be like, let's just call them on Monday and schedule something. I'm like, no, call me on Friday, we'll knock it out, and then Monday there's all kinds of problems that are kind of come up. I could deal with them then. Okay, so let me step away from this and see what the hell this thing looks like. These things look like. Let's put it next to some compatriots. And of course, it looks a lot bigger because this is a 1/72nd scale and this is 1/76. But I'm actually okay with the 100s looking big because they have a 100mm freaking gun in them. It's not like it's armed with a 45. It's a 100 freaking millimeter gun. It ought to look big. And it doesn't look that big when you put like a JSU next to it. So, okay, so these guys are done. 113 and 23. A couple SU-100s. These guys are probably going to be hanging around with T-34-85s. I got 8 or 9 of them to do. All right, I got to go switch the clothes in the laundry, and I'll be right back. Okay. So these are complete now. So let's get them the hell out of here, along with the T-28s. And we will put them in the case that is quickly running out of space. What can we do? What can we do that is not going to get something started? Like, I can't prime anything. That involves going and using the airbrush, which, by the way, is going really well. Today I used the airbrush and cleaned it without a single jam happening. So let's see. Well, let's ditch this. Let's ditch this, and let me go grab something from the other room, and I'll be right back. Well, it'd be nice if I had the freaking microphone on, wouldn't it? I'm gonna have to talk to my producer. Anyhow, this is kind of an uncommon vehicle. Yeah, it's probably a sign that I shouldn't even be on tonight if I can't remember to turn the damn microphone back on when I'm back in the room. It's kind of a pain that they put these things in place anyways, but it's really probably my only gripe with plastic models. They do require some cleanup sometimes. Some more than others, but these tend to be, I haven't test fitted this yet, but this tends to be a brand actually that their stuff fits really well together. So. All right, according to the instructions, we have to assemble some wheels, which I wouldn't be surprised if these fit on here without even being glued on. I was right. Yeah, their stuff fits together really, really well. Let's take this flash off of here. And the same thing on the other side. Okay. Same thing over here. These things fit on here friggin' great. They really do. They really, really do. let's not use the Tamiya glue. Let's use micro weld. This stuff smells good. It almost smells like you could drink it. Don't recommend it. Let's take a brush. Does not come with an applicator. This is the stuff that's made by Microscale Industries. So the same people that make Microset and Microsol make this stuff right here. And it's gotta be some kind of toxic if you can if it melts plastic. Okay, let's go to the other side. Okay, so these 4 little tires are done, and we'll do the same on these other ones over here. Okay, and then this attaches here. Man, these things fit together really, really well. Okay. Okay. Now, these have a lot of common pieces. Interesting, it does not show that screw here. Okay. It's this hole. So let's go ahead and cut that out. Let's actually put this away before it tips over. It's the only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't really have an applicator, which way back in the day, I used to use that stuff a long time ago and knew about it. Back in the early 90s. Back in the early 90s, we had the Testors one, and we had that one. And the Testors one had a brush that wasn't very good. It was very big. And at the time, I'm like, well, I could just use the brush that comes, any old brush, because I could get some pretty good precision on that. Okay, so this one's going to have this piece here. Okay. And the 75mm gun, which is here. Which of course will be drilled out. And this, which is like the breech. And of course it has the 2 crew members on there. And it's funny, it doesn't tell you how to assemble all this, but I'm not worried about it because it's going to be kind of self-explanatory, I would think. Because this is going to fit well, let's sand all this stuff off. Okay, that's good for that. We'll sand the rest of the way for that. Sand the rest of the way for that one. Now, Perfect. Great fit on these things. Great fit. All right, these other pieces. The 75mm gun that will be drilled out. Okay, this is kind of at an angle. Oh boy. Now, there's no instructions to this, to the howitzer, at all. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Okay, so this thing actually goes in on the floor. Okay. And it cheats to one side. Goes like this. Okay, cool. And then this fits up here. And it does rotate a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and drill this thing out while I'm thinking about it. Let's go ahead and make the front of this flat. Let's put a pilot hole about the center of this thing. Now, man, that turned out pretty centered. Now, let's see if I can get away with this. A drill barrel. Okay, and so this is going to fit like this. This thing is going to fit at this funny angle like so. right. Okay. Then this ends up fitting over it. Or we put that in, then we can put that. Oh, here we go. I'll make sure all this stuff fits right before we start gluing shit and got problems. This is something my younger self would have never been able to deal with. Okay, it does, oh, it has like no rotation anyways. So might as well keep it right there. Okay, and the front and stuff is all similarities to it. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. I'm actually going to go ahead and call it a night. But, boy, this thing looks pretty funky without all this stuff on there. But that's what this thing's going to be. It's going to be a 75 millimeter armed 233. And it's going to be in Panzer Gray, this particular one. And we'll see you guys on the next one. We did get those SUs done, which was what my goal is. So we'll catch you guys next time. Have a good night, and